Steelers already thinking post-Rodgers. Lenora Sellers could be the uniquely built successor. Aaron Rodgers' arrival at the Pittsburgh Steelers this summer was undoubtedly one of the biggest headlines of the NFL offseason. After weeks of uncertainty caused by personal issues, the veteran quarterback finally signed with the team on a one-year contract, signaling one last dance in his glorious career. But while the spotlight is on the present, the back room in Pittsburgh is already focused on what comes next. And what comes next could be called Lenora Sellers. According to a recent mock draft published by Pro Football Network's Owain Jones, the Steelers could use their first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft to select the University of South Carolina quarterback, a prospect described as physically unique, with 27 touchdowns last season and an impressive athletic arsenal. Rodgers, under pressure and off the field. Despite the initial excitement, Rodgers' signing wasn't unanimous among fans. Some fans celebrated. Others, skeptical, are already expressing regret. In an atmosphere of expectation and pressure, the slightest wavering can turn into a crisis. Former linebacker James Harrison, a Steelers legend, doesn't hide his skepticism. If the Steelers start losing, and it looks like they're not going to, break 50%, things will go sour pretty quickly, Harrison said. They might as well take Rodgers out mid-season and put in another quarterback and see what happens. This statement fuels a growing sentiment that the marriage between Rodgers and Pittsburgh could be brief or even turbulent. The draft dilemma, too good to pick at the top. Another challenge, highlighted by ESPN's Ryan Clark, is whether Rodgers can keep the Steelers competitive enough to prevent the team from picking among the top of the 2026 draft without necessarily taking the team deep into the playoffs. The dreaded limb of mediocrity. That's where Lenora Sellers comes into the spotlight. At 6 feet 3 inches and 245 pounds, the South Carolina Gamecocks quarterback is a true tank with a powerful arm and plenty of mobility. He impressed in the 2025 season with 27 touchdowns, showing flashes of physical dominance and improvisational ability. Owain Jones describes Sellers as one of the most intriguing prospects in the upcoming class. He has the tools to be a highly coveted draft pick. His build is unique, and the arm talent is there, but he still needs to improve as a passer. Despite a 66% completion rate, Sellers still makes a lot of mistakes. He misses open receivers, frequently puts the ball in danger, and struggles to make consistent pre-snap reads. In other words, the potential is clear, but development will be crucial. If Sellers continues to improve in 2025, he could be exactly the type of player the Steelers are looking for. A moldable, explosive quarterback with a sky-high ceiling, capable of being honed by head coach Mike Tomlin and an experienced coaching staff. If Rodgers does indeed hang up his cleats at the end of this season, as all signs point to, Sellers would have the chance to begin his NFL career with a structured team, supported by a strong defense and an offensive system packed with talent, such as DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, and possibly more reinforcements. And if the season is disappointing, Sellers could arrive as the new face of the franchise, ready to write his own story in a city that values resilient leaders and physical players. Exactly the profile he represents. Rodgers' signing was a bold attempt to end years of uncertainty at the quarterback position, but even before his first official snap in the black and gold uniform, the succession plan is already taking shape. If the future truly lies with Lenora Sellers, the Steelers could be preparing for a bold transition, from legendary to uncertain, but with enormous potential. Steelers linked to Justin Simmons, two-time Pro Bowler, could bolster Pittsburgh's defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the gas. After an aggressive offseason that included the arrival of Aaron Rodgers, the trade for DK Metcalf, and significant defensive moves, the franchise appears poised to go all out in pursuit of the title in 2025. But one piece may still be missing from the puzzle, and that piece is Justin Simmons. The veteran safety, a two-time Pro Bowl selection and four-time second-team All, remains on the free agent market. And it's not for lack of offers, but rather by choice. At 31, Simmons is being selective, waiting for the right opportunity, with the right team, for perhaps the last great run of his career. I'm being a little more discerning about where I'm going and where I want to call home for the next 2 years, or even a year. Being a title contender is no one on my list right now, Simmons said in an interview with the Denver Post. With that in mind, the Pittsburgh Steelers appear to be one of the most logical destinations, according to Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report. The team needs to fill the void left by changes to its secondary, and with a win-now mentality, they bring exactly the competitive profile Simmons is looking for. Why does it make sense for the Steelers? Pittsburgh has one of the most respected defenses in the NFL, but there's still a notable hole at free safety. After trading Minkah Fitzpatrick as part of one of the most talked-about trades of the offseason with the Miami Dolphins, the team needs an experienced and cerebral presence at the back. Deshaun Elliott was retained with a contract extension and is expected to play strong safety. Simmons, on the other hand, would be a perfect fit at free safety. bringing his reading ability, deep coverage, and leadership attributes that established him during his long tenure with the Denver Broncos. In 2024, despite playing for an unstable Atlanta Falcons, Simmons appeared in 16 games, recording 62 tackles and 2 interceptions. Although it was his least productive season since 2017, he still demonstrated his potential for high-level contributions, especially when surrounded by a more competitive roster like the one Pittsburgh is assembling. Another advantage for the Steelers is the reduced cost. In 2024, Simmons signed a $7.5 million contract with the Falcons. After a statistically underwhelming season and already in his 30s, the veteran is likely to accept a more affordable deal, especially if it means a real chance at a Super Bowl. From a strategic standpoint, adding Simmons would bring depth and experience to a rebuilding secondary. More than that, it would send a clear message that Pittsburgh isn't just trying to compete, it's trying to win now. The franchise's aggressive move is also reflected in betting. According to Bet365, the Steelers' regular season win line currently stands at 8.5 wins, a figure that speaks of respect. Yet caution, with the arrival of names like Rodgers, Metcalf, and perhaps Simmons, this over could become increasingly attractive to confident bettors and fans. Ultimately, Justin Simmons represents more than just statistics. He's a leader, a veteran, hungry for his first playoff appearance, and a reliable presence to close down the field. For the Steelers, his signing would make sense both on the field and in the locker room. And for Simmons, a team with pedigree, an urgency to win, and one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL could be exactly the home he's looking for.